Every household needs a safe and reliable water supply. But how does the water that you depend on for daily life get delivered to your home? Is it accessed directly from a household connection or a yard tap? Or is it transported from a kiosk or another water point to household storage containers? Maybe you rely on bottled or packaged water. These are all examples of distribution and transport of water supply. After this module, you'll understand the role of the distribution and transport functional group, which is the fifth of 6 functional groups comprising a complete water supply system. You'll be able to recognize the factors influencing technology selection for different settings, and also assess the advantages and disadvantages of example technologies involved in distribution and transport. Distribution refers to the network of interconnected pipes, tanks, pumps, and other physical features that together convey water from source to tap. Transport refers to solutions or technologies used to deliver water directly to the consumer, especially in the absence of in-home connections. In this video, we'll look at a few examples of distribution and transport technologies: jerry cans, water kiosks with on-site storage, and finally, distribution systems of various scales. Additional information on the technologies in this functional group can be found in the Water Compendium. Starting with jerry cans, these are lightweight plastic containers that are often used to manually collect and carry water from a collection point to the household. Jerry cans are typically 20 liters in volume, but they can range in size from 3 liters and up to 30 liters. They usually include a handle as well as a lid that can be closed to prevent spilling and outside contamination from entering during transport. Water users either carry the jerry cans themselves, or they might use a transport aid such as a bicycle or a donkey. Here you can see an example of water being transported by truck to a collection point in North Darfur, where water users then carry the jerry can back to their home. Jerry cans have several advantages. They're available almost everywhere, they're low cost, robust, and they're easy to clean, for example, with a 0.5% hypochlorite solution. However, there's a high risk of recontamination when jerry cans aren't cleaned regularly or properly, particularly if there's no lid or when the general condition of the jerry can is poor. Manual transport of water using jerry cans may provide a reliable solution for ensuring a household's water access. Still, water is heavy, and daily water hauling requires a lot of time and energy, and it also comes with considerable risk of injury. It's important to keep in mind that according to the human right to water, the water source has to be within 1,000 meters of the home, and collection time shouldn't exceed 30 minutes. This is because only very limited quantities of water can be transported in a jerry can by one person, so it can be extremely difficult to meet even basic needs with water if the source is very far from the home. Next, let's take a look at water kiosks. These are small shops that sell water directly to consumers, either drawing on a non-networked water point like a borehole equipped with a pump, or by connecting to a local distribution system. Kiosks usually have multiple taps available to reduce queuing time. They can be operated by an attendant, as shown here in this kiosk in Zambia, or they can be run without an attendant using an automatic mobile phone or card payment system. Here, for example, you see a water kiosk in Uganda that pipes water from Lake Victoria and stores it in the black tank, which contains a gravity-driven membrane unit to provide an ultrafiltration step. Depending on factors such as the availability of raw water, water storage capacity, treatment capacity, and user demand, kiosks can normally deliver water to between 200 and 3,000 people. Water kiosks offer the advantage of being quick to install and also adaptable to local conditions. They can provide water that's been treated to a high-quality standard. However, water quality can still deteriorate after jerry cans are filled or during storage. Proper operation, management, infrastructure maintenance, and quality control are all essential considerations for kiosks. Depending on the technology involved, these processes may be more or less complex, and the resulting cost to consumers may be considerably higher than a household connection. However, in areas without the option of an in-house pipe connection, water kiosks are often more affordable compared to the alternative of mobile water vendors or bottled water. Finally, we'll examine distribution systems, which convey water from the source or treatment plant to the point where it's collected and used. Small community distribution systems can deliver water to public standpipes, household connections, and yard taps like the one shown here in Indonesia. For small community systems, daily and seasonal variations in water demand are often addressed by water storage, pump control mechanisms, and adjustments to the operating hours of the system. Centralized distribution systems, on the other hand, are more common in urban settings. These systems usually involve a complex interconnected network of pipes, valves, and storage tanks that deliver continuous water supply to households and institutions. This photo shows a distribution main in India transferring water from the Krishna River to nearby Hyderabad. Rural areas are less likely to be served by centralized distribution systems since household connections become cost prohibitive across such long distances. In these low-density areas, smaller community networks are more feasible for delivering water to households, yard taps, and public standpipes. These small-scale systems often have a simple branch design, while larger centralized systems tend to be underground loop networks. You can find more information on these and other technical design considerations in the Water Compendium. Distribution networks with household connections are a very convenient and desirable way of delivering water to consumers. The water is usually of good quality, and if services are continuous, there's usually no need for water treatment or safe storage in the home. However, consumption and water wastage tend to be considerably higher with distribution networks than with other arrangements. Distribution systems also have high investment and operational costs, and long-term planning is needed to manage aging infrastructure. There may also be supply breakdowns and interruptions due to maintenance work or the deterioration of the infrastructure. And finally, due to the higher volumes of water delivered, it's necessary to plan for proper disposal or reuse of water. In summary, the distribution and transport functional group is the fifth of 6 functional groups. The role of technologies in this functional group is to deliver water from the source or treatment facility to the home of the consumer. Technology selection is influenced by several factors, including the availability of financial resources, the quantity and quality of water, population density, and distance from the source or treatment plant. Assessing these technologies' advantages and disadvantages will help you to select an appropriate arrangement for distribution and transport of water.